Welcome back to Rising. Lindsey, what is in your lens today?
Well, at a private fundraiser in New Jersey, President Obama issued what should be taken as a wake-up call to his own party. He challenged Democrats who are frustrated with the state of the country under Trump to do something about it. Not tomorrow, not the next election cycle, right now. As Obama put it, quote, "It's going to require a little bit less navel-gazing and a little less whining and being in fetal positions. And it's going to require Democrats to just toughen up." He didn't stop there. He called out the same progressives who proudly stood behind him during his presidency, wondering where that energy disappeared to. He said, quote, "What I have been surprised by is the degree to which I've seen people who, when I was president, or progressives, liberals, stood for all kinds of stuff, who seem like they're kind of cowed and intimidated and shrinking away from just asserting what they believe, or at least what they said they believe." Billionaire businessman Mark Cuban echoed this frustration on Pod Save America, though from a little bit of a different angle. Cuban thinks Democrats do have a message, but it's the wrong one. Take a look.
We picked the wrong pressure points. It's just Trump sucks. That's the underlying, thought of everything the Democrats do. Trump sucks. Trump says, the sky is blue. Trump sucks. You can't, that's not the way to win. It's just not. Because it's not about Trump. It's about the people of the United States of America and what's good for them. And how do you get them to a place where they're in a better position?
Whoopi Goldberg disagrees. She recently pushed back. Here she is on The View this week.
With much due respect to you both, I believe you are pointing the finger at the wrong person when you say Democrats.
And listen, I love Whoopi. I spent time with her during my stint co-hosting The View. But this time, I think she's totally missing the point. Obama's not criticizing the average voter or rank and file Democrat. He's calling out the silence of Democratic leaders specifically, the ones who spent billions of dollars warning voters that Trump was an existential threat to democracy, only to follow up with nothing. No unified strategy, no economic plan, just more reminders that, quote, Trump sucks. To Cuban's point, Democrats have reduced their platform to little more than that. And data proves it. So according to the New York Times, before the last election, Republicans were making steady gains in working class counties. Democrats, well, they were growing almost exclusively in wealthier, college-educated areas. Even Bernie Sanders saw it coming. He warned Kamala directly before the election, telling her the party was ignoring, quote, pocketbook issues and focusing too much on converting Republicans instead of reconnecting with working Americans. After that defeat, Bernie didn't mince words, writing on X, quote, "It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned the working class people would find that the working class people have abandoned them." And that's the heart of the problem. Trump's 2024 win wasn't a fluke. It was the result of years of Democratic neglect in working class America. Back in 2016, Democrats had Russia to blame, but not this time. The loss is on them. They're throwing money at the problem and it won't fix it, nor will endlessly searching for this new Joe Rogan type of person to magically speak for the party. What voters are asking for isn't complicated: authenticity, fresh thinking, and real solutions. Look at Zohran Mamdani, the socialist who just won New York's Democratic mayoral primary. Why did he win? Because he talked about exactly what matters: jobs, housing, healthcare. He spoke to the economic discontent, that the same force that fueled Trump's rise. Mamdani understood that the establishment refuses to admit the economy isn't working for average Americans, and they're desperate for someone who gets it. But here's the kicker. Democrats actually have an opening. Trump's approval is slipping. Inflation is on the rise, like you just heard. His economic policies and tariffs are backfiring. Americans don't like the way he's going about immigration reform. Americans aren't easy. They're ready for an alternative. But Democrats can't fill that role if they're stuck in what Obama called, quote, fetal positions. This is a call for courage, a call for realignment, a call for unified action over ideology. It's a time for Democrats to stop whining, stop chasing Republicans, and start fighting for the people they claim to represent. Otherwise, get ready for more red maps and more heartbreak.
Yeah, as far as Obama's concerned, when he says things like Democrats should toughen up, do the hard, it's kind of slogany and rhetoric. Like, well, what does that actually mean? It doesn't bother me. I don't think it's necessarily bad advice or wrong advice. It's just a little substance-free, which tends to be what Obama does these days, when he speaks at a college or something. I mean, I don't mind a lot of what he says. Sometimes he'll even kind of chide progressive activists for being overly obsessed with wokeness. It seems kind of clear to me that wokeness annoys him, which I appreciate. Mark Cuban is someone I've always kind of admired. I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. I
Same.
respect that he's a very successful businessman. I think a lot of his policies and economic ideas are decent, and he's, I think, correct that just shrieking Trump sucks is not a appealing message. So I agree with the thrust of the radar.
So I thought that people might think about Obama in a way of like good message, maybe wrong messenger, because he's played kind of neutral. So I want to play this clip from Charlemagne that actually voiced the same concern as you.
Sure.
It's mind-boggling to me when I hear people like President Obama say things that regular, everyday people been saying for years. We've been saying Democrats were cowards. It was just wild to hear President Obama say that now, as if Democrats haven't been cowards for the past decade.
So my only issue was that Obama, rightfully so, decided to do Netflix and other adventures with Michelle Obama, and so they bowed out of when it was crucial time to have executive decisions be made in the party. And I think that he went with what the status quo was, which is, okay, we're pushing Joe Biden through and all. So that's my biggest critique of him saying it, but the message is still something.
Yeah, Obama's not very popular with the left, is he? Right? He's popular with liberals. I think left people don't like him very much.
Oh, I don't. That's not what my read on the situation.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's coming from, it feels a little condescending, but the point's still there, because what makes up the Democratic Party is not just the leaders, right? It's the people, and the people in the Democratic Party, I think, largely are like the same way that in the right and Trump's base is moving more towards the right and becoming MAGA. I think like people on the left are moving more towards the left and want leaders like Mamdani to lean all the way into those policies.
Well, do they want those? If they want those policies, then I think many on the right would say, good, please promote those policies, because those policies are terrible and won't be popular. I think Mamdani
can't put them in any worse situation than Trump is doing right now. We just talked about he got an F in the first 100 days.
Oh, it can get a lot worse under
he's
socialism.
Bringing inflation
Socialism,
up.
you wait in line for bread.
Iran for 12 days. I mean, Trump did a lot. That's not exactly
it can get a lot
ideal.
worse. I mean, every country that actually implements socialism has horrific depression and then a political repression and ends up like killing all the people that wear glasses. So let's,
That's so extreme.
Well, that's what happens under socialism. Is a
he's-
form of extremism,
Right, but I don't
where the
think the
government
goal-
centralizes control of the economy and then erases or reduces political rights in order to maintain the committee's hold on the government.
And I don't think
very
Mamdani's
bad.
plan is to have that done. I think his plan is.
Well, I
more
wish he
to
wouldn't call
think
himself a
about the
socialist
everyday
then.
people.
Yeah.
I think he's co-opting the word, right? He's thinking about the everyday people and figuring out how most people can get.
Okay,
their
if I
fair
said I'm a
shake.
Nazi and I'm going to do just the good parts
No,
of
that's so
Nazism, would
extreme.
you
That's-
say, well, I think he's just co-opting the word, it's fine. I don't know why socialism is any less a bad word than fascism. It's killed just as many millions of people globally in the last century as extremist ideologies on the right.
The point is that Mamdani's presence is something that people obviously were looking for him to be an established candidate like Cuomo, who's known all around New York, and a current sitting mayor who's not even.
Yeah,
running
I
against the
hate
party.
Cuomo. It's not a. For me, it's not a. I would never vote. Cuomo is so loathsome and contemptible to me that I don't have any. I'm not like sad that Mamdani beat him there because I hate Cuomo that much. But and as do many Americans, many New Yorkers. So that's not that surprising. But this socialism thing, it's not a great idea, my friend.
We're just gonna leave it there. So let's talk about what's next.
Next up, President Trump is calling one congressperson a scam artist. Find out who it is next.